What's up, allies? We're back in the alley, and it's time for another review. And this time, Trend has released another wave of their Retro Stinky Sticker line. This time, 24 cents, a whopping drop here. We're going to take a look at them. Let's get to it. Alright, so here we are. We're coming into the end of winter, thankfully. And this spring release was set to drop in February. However, we are here in the last week in January, and I already have it. That's because Trend decided to go ahead and drop them early. Good on you, Trend. And so, of course, I ordered them immediately as soon as I saw it. As you all know, if you've been watching, I'm a huge fan of these. I was as a child. I still am. And obviously, I wanted to have these. This is, like I said, an enormous drop. There's 24 different scents in this particular wave. Several of them are my favorites, so I'm very, very excited to get these open. If you go on and order the whole set, it's this price. If, on the other hand, you just want to order individual packs, it's this per pack, and that's 24 stickers per pack. If you order the set, it looks like Trend will go ahead and include the collector's sheets. They've done that again, as they had the last time I got these. Everything's wrapped up in the plastic here. So we are going to go ahead and open this up and take a look at how good they actually are. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start. And as we're starting, we're going to take a look at the sort of the side items that come with this particular set here. As we've seen in previous sets, they do come with the checklists, the check sheet here, where you can put a sticker to kind of mark off what you've received. It does come with two of them. Much like on the previous edition, we have some of the other characters here. We've got the raspberry, we've got the bananas, and that's what we got. It basically comes folded as it did the last time. And obviously, as you can see, I've gone ahead and put it in a protective sheet already. So that's taken care of. First thing we'll talk about then is the packaging. The packaging remains the same. It hasn't changed at all. You've got your skunk over here, who we have named Clarence. Trend, I'm still waiting to hear whether or not this dude's got a name. Until then, I'm calling him Clarence. As you can see, the packaging has not changed. It's been the same as it has been the entire time. Back remains the same as well. One thing that I wanted to mention, because some of the people in the Facebook forums have mentioned this, as have I privately there, is that the only, I don't want to say beef or whatever I have with this packaging, and a lot of us do, is these days it has these heat-sealed plastic coatings over top. Then I find that when you take them out of the package, you have to be extremely careful, because these are heat shrinked and they're so tight that, number one, it tends to, I don't know how much you can see this here. You can see that it's not even across. And the reason for that is because as the heat shrinking goes on, what it does is it pulls and causes this to bend. And so if you're not careful when you're opening it, you can accidentally peel one of the stickers off of the sheet. So I think in that respect, the original packaging of back in the 80s was better. It was more of a cellophane, and you didn't have near that risk. This is a complete nitpick, by the way. I'm not going to suggest the Trend is somehow deficient because of the packaging. Just something that I'm pointing out, and the reason I'm pointing it out is the easiest way around this is to open this. Go ahead and take an edge of some kind, whether it's a pair of scissors or whatever, and cut this open properly. That way you don't have the worry of it accidentally bending and taking one of the stickers off the sheet for you. So we're going to go ahead and take this one out and put it with the rest of them and take a look at this set. All right, so first up, we've got these guys out of the package now, and I'm going to put them beside. This is an original sheet from back in the day, and I'm just going to demonstrate to you some of the minor differences. I haven't talked about this in a while, and I realize that some people are new to the channel or they're new to the forum where I'm putting out that this is out there. So I want to kind of give you an idea of the differences that you can look at to make sure that you're, if you're finding these online, or if you're in a country where Trend doesn't directly send them and you're looking to get them on eBay, and you want to make sure you're getting the right thing. The new stickers are a bit longer than the original stickers, just by a hair. And that difference allows them to put this writing at the top. That did not exist on the originals. The original sheets did not have that. The other thing that the original sheets did not have is it was just the sticker on the backing paper. Whereas on these, it's the sticker, the backing paper, and then there's this other... It was die cut with the entire sheet on here. So in other words, they haven't pulled this other piece off because, of course, it has this writing on there. So you'll notice that if you look closely, and I don't know how well the camera's going to pick this up, but the actual die cut around the sticker to create the round sticker leaves some of that background color that bleeds out onto the backing sheet. Okay? Whereas on the original ones, because that portion of it has been removed and it's just the backing paper with this and it doesn't have that other piece that the sticker would have been connected to, that's not there either. The final difference is in the copyright symbol that's on here. It does not have a star associated with it, whereas over here on the newer ones there is a star at the end of it demonstrating that this is part of the new release and not one of the originals. So this way you know, and you're not... I know I've talked about this before in other videos, but again, if you're coming to this brand new, at least you're seeing this and you won't make a mistake and accidentally buy the wrong thing. Or have somebody trying to tell you it's this, when in fact it's this, right? So just so you're aware, that's what to look for, and that's how you can tell the difference. Now, the next thing I want to talk about... Let's go right to the elephant in the room. Now, if you are part of the group of people who is on one of the Facebook groups, you know that some folks have already been talking about the caramel apple. Let me just say this. I'm not really clear on what the process is or what they go through. I've talked about before that I have my suspicions. But the trend ultimately, I know, is outsourcing some of this stuff, in particular the creation of the esters that create the scents and so forth. When you open this sticker, the big thing that everyone keeps saying is that this does not smell like a caramel apple. It just smells like apple. And I have to tell you, one of the reasons that this review has been delayed, well, it's really twofold. One, when these stickers arrived, I was really, really sick with the flu. And so I really couldn't smell them that well, and I wanted to make sure that I was giving it just due before I said anything. And the second reason is that I was waiting to see if maybe on somewhat of a dry down, if you will, after these things were taken out of the package, if it would alter this in some way. But ultimately, this sticker does smell just like apple. It smells just like the snappy apple, which I think was in the first wave, if I remember correctly. And there's no caramel to this whatsoever. I don't know if this was a mistake. I don't know what happened here. But here's the thing. A lot of folks online are upset that it doesn't smell like caramel at all. Me personally, it is a disappointment, but I am not ready to blame Trend completely for this, because on several other stickers that they've had in the past, like let's take the stickers that smell like orange in some way, there have now been 3 of them that I can think of. The original orange candy part, then there's the lollipop that smells like orange. There's one of them in this particular wave. This guy that smells like orange. Hang on, let me pull him out. And all 3 of those smell like different oranges. Yeah, there's no question. So I can't imagine that Trend would go through the trouble of making sure it's 3 different esters for 3 different orange scents, and then say, well, you know what, let's take a shortcut and just use the same scent we used on the Snappy Apple. So I don't know if there was an accident or something went wrong, or if they're having difficulty getting a caramel scent. But here's the thing. If I'm going to give an objective review, and I'm going to tell everyone exactly what I think, this one misses the mark completely. It does not smell like caramel apple at all. It doesn't smell anything like the original one. It just smells like an apple. Now, having said that, do I think that that means Trend has made a terrible error here and no one should go buy this? Absolutely not. That's not what that means at all. And I will say that it means that there's a point at which you have to give constructive criticism. I love Trend. I have been buying from Trend either myself directly or by proxy through parents, grandparents, or whatever from just about the time I was born. So you're talking a relationship with this company of well over 40 years. I I am unlikely to say that Trend is just wrong for doing this. I think that there's something that was amiss here. Something is clearly a mistake. And also, in the past, Trend has demonstrated quite, several times that I can think of, that they will make running changes. So in this case, I'm giving this constructive feedback because I'm hoping that in a future print of these, the Trend says, hey, let's go back to the drawing board and make it right. Because in my opinion, this sticker completely misses the mark. Now, having said that, the rest of the stickers in this wave absolutely kill it, for sure. The banana and the spearmint, I feel, are identical to the way that they were in the original run, and I would put that emphasis on the chocolate cookie as well. The orange, excellent scent. The leather boot, excellent scent. One thing I'd like to point out about the leather boot, originally on the original versions of these, and I apologize for not grabbing my original version, the boots were just straight up and down. You'll notice how they've put it on the sticker at sort of a slight angle, so there's a difference between them as well. Egg, it smells like sort of an egg custard, if you will, or like a sort of a vanilla-y type scent, and I think they do a great job with that. This is one of my favorites as a kid, and it's really hard to find, the old ones, so I'm glad they have this. You've got the lemon, which is part of the Easter stickers. We've got grape jelly, looking fantastic. I've heard some people say they think that the printing on this is a little bit light in terms of the color. I personally think it's fine. I guess it just depends on your point of view. Raspberry, it smells very, very strong, guys. I had one person say to me that they felt it had a chemical scent to it. I don't really detect that. I did when I first opened it up, but it seems to have lightened up a little bit, so that it could be just part of the actual micro-encapsulation process or whatever. Mine smells fine. Candy mint smells fantastic. Then we get into a few other really good ones here. Some of these guys are huge improvements on the original ones. The pretzel, for instance, honestly, if you could figure out a way to put a heat scent in this, or like to, I don't know how you would do this, but that you would smell it and it would smell warm to you, if that makes any sense. This would be dead on to a soft pretzel. Dead on. You can even smell the salt in this. It's fantastic, and I think it's better than the original one. The cinnamon on the phone, fantastic. Cherry candy. Here's the French fry. The rubber tire. This is another one that's a big improvement on the original one. I think this smells fantastic. Now we're going to get into a few that might be a bit different, but not necessarily, in a bad way or whatever. These two stickers in the original run, believe it or not, had a very, very similar scent. And it was sort of like a cedar type scent. These in particular, the leaves, they have improved this in a way that's very, very different. I think that this smells far more accurate and real than it did in the original one. And this was one of my favorites as a kid. And even though they've altered the scent quite a bit, I think this is fantastic. And I'm really, really happy. And I'm glad I'm here for it. Same holds true for the printout. The bandage. This is one that if you have the original ones, this was a very hard scent. It was going to be very difficult to duplicate. And I think they definitely have it in the ballpark and did a great job. This is my favorite sticker from the original run, and I absolutely love that it's out, and I think they did a fantastic job, and I'm real happy with it. There are a handful of them that I think are different from the original ones, but not in a bad way necessarily. The Sweet Clover is an example of that. It's slightly different, but still good. I think the same can be said for the Star and for the Flower, which are different. They are different, but they're good. The Cave is a mild scent. Mine is very, very mild. It's nowhere near as strong as the originals. However, having said that, I think it's important to point out that the original ones were super strong, maybe even slightly too strong. And the Fried Chicken, definitely, I think you definitely the original. It doesn't smell like the original, but I think it smells more like fried chicken personally. This is another one that's a bit controversial for some people. When I first opened this, I wasn't sure that it smelled like the original one, and I'm still not sure that it does. However, I will say that once it dried down a little bit, so to speak, and was out of the package, I think that it does smell a little bit closer to the original one than it did when I first opened it. Having said that, I don't really have a problem with it. I think it's a pretty good sticker. So all in all, that's the set that's come out, and I think they've done a really good job, as they have throughout this entire run with this. And you add that together, and that's what you got that comes in the box. All right, so let's get into final thoughts here. The big one here is this guy for not meeting the mark. And I have to say that in the 4 or 5 releases, whatever it is now that Trend has done with these stickers, whether it's these or, of course, the playing cards that I reviewed before that were not part of the original run or anything like that, I think that Trend has done a fantastic job with this retro line. They've really achieved something fantastic here. And I think that it's important to note that when you want to go back and redo something like this that involves scenting technology and such, and it's 40 years or more after you did the original ones, I think it's really important to know that you cannot expect the same companies that you do business with, certainly not the same people. This is a totally different animal, and they're trying to match the scent to 40 to 50-year-old stickers. I think for the most part, they really, really hit the mark, and not only in this wave, but in the previous ones as well. So the fact that they have one that sort of missed the mark a little bit, I don't really know that takes that much away from it. And again, I think if you consider the fact that Trend has been known to make changes in the past, that there's still an opportunity for this thing to be altered going forward. And in addition to that, you're not really buying this thing for one sticker. You're buying it for all of them. And I think that in that respect, it really doesn't take away from the whole presentation all that much, especially when you have some of them that have just knocked it out of the park so well with matching the original, like the spearmint or the banana, the orange, the boot. I mean, I can just keep going through these that just absolutely smell phenomenal, and I think they've done a great job. So from my point of view, this is 100% a strong recommend from me. I think if you're a collector of stickers, if you remember these from when you were a kid or what have you, it's time to go out and get them. And of course, they would be good to give to somebody, a loved one or what have you, that loves this kind of stuff. They're available right now. Here's the website. Go get yourself some. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, allies.